For 15 years, DJ Bob has been your go-to source for pop culture, past and present. We eat, sleep, and breathe pop culture, just like you. He's interviewed countless fascinating people, from well-known names to everyday heroes.
DJ Bob connects with his guests on a personal level, exploring their stories, passions, and challenges.
He's not just interviewing, he's building a community of like-minded, inspiring, driven, and talented individuals.
Join DJ Bob as he delves into the world of entertainment and the conversations that matter on all levels. This is the DJ Bob Show. Roll it.
When I found out that my friends, JP and Kat, were releasing a children's album for neurodivergent kids and their families, I jumped right on it and made sure that we had them on the podcast. JP and Kat are known for their work on Sesame Street, Baby Shark's Big Show, the DJ Bob Show theme song. Well, I don't know if they're known for that, but they did it. But now they're going to be known for this incredible body of work. The album is by a moniker named Aidee, Aidee, and it is a true gift, talking about topics like putting things away and being a work in progress, among other things. It is such a beautiful album for kids with ADHD, people with creative minds, and people of the like. It's a beautiful album, as I've said, and it's a beautiful conversation that goes down a bunch of trails and tangents, but it's a conversation between friends, and it's real, and I hope you enjoy it. JP and Kat, it's so wonderful to have you back here. What's been up?
Oh, Bob, it's so great to be back with you. It's always great to have a friendly face to talk to and a friendly voice. We've been doing a lot of different things. We just launched our new project called Aidee, which is a neurodivergent property that's looking to kind of help neurodivergent kids, specifically ADHD kids, navigate the complex world that they live in while not talking down to them, but being more of a friend.
I want to know, when did this start? The last time we spoke was 2023.
Yes. Yeah. And we've been working on this for about 2 years now. So yeah, about 2 years. That's when the idea first sparked. So it was nothing yet. And it kind of went into several different iterations before we got to where it is today. So yes, we were behind the scenes working on it, because part of our passion, besides music, which, I mean, this is also a music project, but is to create our own worlds and our own characters and our own stories. And this one just kind of happened organically, and we just ran with it.
Yeah, we found that, like, when you are telling a kid, any kid, right? Telling our young kids, our kids were at that time in 2023, the last time we spoke to you, our kids were 6 and 5. So like they're 19 months apart. And they were just going from kids who are like, love to run around or whatever. And we were just realizing that they too were not only, energetic, but also neurodivergent, specifically ADHD. And, when kids, those two specific ages, they start to be aware of the kids around them and what they're doing and what, how they're behaving themselves, how they're dressing, how they're doing stuff. And our kids were like always, marching to the beat of their own drums and other things as well that were, more important. They were ADHD kids tend to be about 3 years behind. And so we were realizing that like they seemed younger than their friends. And I knew this because I have ADHD and my whole family has ADHD. And part of JP's family also probably has ADHD. They're just undiagnosed at this moment. But we realized that song and our little ditties, which had always helped me as a young adult, and when I got to be even an adult, I'm singing things that I need to do. Songs would help them remember what they are on at the moment. So one of the first things we ever were singing to them were a song when it was time to leave. We would sing, go, 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 go. And it was silly, right? But it was their soundtrack. And they would get up and they would get very excited about doing it. Whereas if the song is not there, they would get distracted and start doing something else, even though they were still planning. They were getting up, then they were getting distracted by something else. So this kept them moving.
It's funny because with cerebral palsy, it's not ADHD, but it also is a brain injury. So there is tendencies. This helped me as an adult when listening to this album.
Tell me about it.
Sometimes, especially being a creative person, you have so many ideas in your head, and it's so hard to just hyper focus on the important one because you get easily distracted, especially in our social media world where, everything's at you in one place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like kids now are conditioned to have kind of multiple brains at once with all this stuff. So this really put it in perspective for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
also you're a creative mind as well.
Yeah. I mean, because there are times where I'll start to write an email and I'll be like, wait, what did I do? Or what am I doing? And I can't get back.
That is the next song that I haven't even told JP this. That's the next song. And it sounds so silly to a neurotypical brain. The "What Am I Doing" song.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It's something silly like what I sing. I usually sing to myself, literally. What am I looking for? And at the moment, it happens to be a specific song on the radio that I changed the words to, but I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Or what am I looking for? What am I looking for? And I find myself singing I didn't create it. I didn't, whatever. It's just, if I sing it, a melody separates itself from the chatter of everything that is happening. And, it's not voices in your head, but it is many conversations, memories, ideas, thoughts, fears, and sounds of whizzing, buzzing, things that are happening, like your fan or your and the worst one of all, by the way, is a notification from your phone. Because like you said, Bob, the phone is meant to pull you in, rather the apps on the phone and their notifications are meant to pull you away from what you're doing, which is, not evil in its own, each, but
that's why I have them. That's why I have them turned off. But
same.
I have them, visually they show up. I just don't hear them.
Same. I mean, I go through my phone once a month and I turn off as many apps as I can with notifications. I mean, to my own detriment. I'll definitely miss notifications. And I can't because if I don't, I will lose it's not even that you're pulled into something else. You just lose your train of thought. And, adults who are recognizing their own neurotypes, their own creative minds, their own thing, they're recognizing it on their own are, at a certain age, are like, do I have early onset dementia? am I losing it right now? But it's not. It's just that there are more things pulling your attention, and notifications tend to derail you from what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, a
so
song like that does
when
that.
it comes to this album, JP, what was kind of the the first, because this album has an aesthetic. It's not you guys, it's your character. So how did that idea form?
Well, as we were playing with the idea, we definitely didn't want it just to be a record that just comes out and just becomes another kid's record that, falls into the abyss. We did notice that even though with the most education, adults can still, I guess, to children still feel like they're talking down to them. And we thought that, you know, there's therapists, there's teachers, there's parents, there's everybody that these kids talk to, and you know, everybody's doing the best it can, but what if kids had a peer that they can look to and kind of feel like they're getting the information not in their typical way of getting it about looking behind you to see if there's anything else you need to do before leaving the room, or putting stuff away, or one of my favorites is breathe, which
Yeah.
is more than just for the neurotypical. I mean, it's something great for all of us. I think breath work has definitely impacted my life. I do it every day. And it's something that keeps me grounded.
And it's interesting because since we've talked, I've had some life changes, as you guys know.
Hmm.
And it's like creatively, I'm kind of in this state of like, I have so much going on in my head, but like I couldn't create or do anything for the longest time. And I thought I was crazy, but it was because my mind was so like overshadowed by all these things that I want to do.
Mm,
Right. And especially for, like I said, creative minds, like you're working in one space and still hearing or experiencing emotionally something else at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, and when I heard the album, I was like, this is so this is so great for everybody because anybody can relate and get something out of this. This is not an educational record.
No. And it doesn't sound like it. And it's very like understated on purpose. It's meant to be fun. And then, first of all, it's meant to be a an empathetic record. And which means that the kid is hearing it and not just being told to sit down, not just being told, well, you got to wait, or not just being told, well, what happened? You just left your cereal bowl. It's meant to be empathetic, like, I know why you left your cereal bowl, and here's what to do about it. And I am an 8-year-old child, and I am going to show you how I do it. And also, like, ADHD kids generally tend to have this thing called PDA, which is like demand avoidance. And, you tell them to do something and then they immediately don't want to do it, right? I have it as an adult. I don't want to have it, but it's not like I'm not being sassy when I don't want to do the one thing that I'm supposed to do. It just happens. So if no one's talking at you, they're talking about themselves, and you as the listener, the child or the parent, is hearing them speak from their own point of view. It's a lot easier to digest.
For sure. And I think the thing that I really gravitated towards with this album, and especially the lead single, if you call it anything else, is like how singable and how tuneful it is. But it's also just, it's almost like putting like vegetables in ice, like it's like, like that
hmm
that weird, I don't know how you say it, but it's like hiding nutritional
Oh,
value.
yeah. Yes. Yes. The spoonful of sugar.
Yes,
Yes,
Like hiding
absolutely.
the vegetables within the pasta itself.
right.
Here's some butter pasta.
That's what you guys are doing.
Yeah. That hopefully that's the point. The point is to hear it and then have it in your head at that pivotal, that perfect moment when you're about to drop about to leave the cereal bowl, about to leave school without your book bag. One of the songs that is dear to me is a song called Jelly Belly, called Mad Mad.
Yes.
We've talked to you before about like Sesame Street and growing up like that. We have this like love for the character Animal. I imagine Animal coming on and be like,
Of
"I'm
course.
mad, 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 mad." This like when you're mad, you can't think of anything else. And you were just talking about like sometimes like I will be like, why can't I get this done? Why am I so tired? Why am I mad? I'm mad, but I don't know why. What's going on? And then you realize that you might have not eaten all day. You may have been tired because you had no sleep the night before. You may just be frustrated and you're mad because you're frustrated. But until you look at it from an interoceptive point of view, meaning like what's your belly telling you? Literally, what is your belly signaling to you, your brain? Then it's just anger and like dysregulation. And so the song is meant to help you come down and get to a safe space where you can think clearly and find out why. And it helps my son. Our son Ben gets mad and then he goes through the list. Am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I frustrated? And he goes through 1, 2, 3, oh. And then he goes from like, ADHD kids can seem on the outside like short with you or rude or disrespectful. But what you don't realize is they have been holding it in so much up until that point that they kind of need an adult and they'll do whatever it takes to get an adult. But once he realized, that he was hungry or tired or this or that, oh, you know what? I need a snack. And now he'll go through the list. At least I heard him doing it once.
I love that because, when you are mad about something, especially when you have this brain that is constantly going, sometimes the real problem or the real anger is overshadowed by everything else.
Totally. Yeah. And like another thing that I really value about the album, or that I was very serious about putting in because it's something that I value, is number one, having a tempo that connects at that moment. So yeah, obviously if it's a go, go, go song, it's going to be a very fast and very crazy, happy, fun song. Or if it's meant to bring you down, our song Breathe it gets slower, it gets wider. There's a lot more space in the song, and it's meant to follow your goal. And we went with, JP, what is the Apple Music? I keep forgetting the word.
Atmos?
Atmos. We worked with Atmos to create a sort of a binaural experience in the song My Orange Tree.
Yeah.
Is an ode to creativity and the ADHD mind. And in this song, My Orange Tree, in her mind, she has this tree of knowledge and thoughts, and each orange represents a memory, a fear, a funny thing, an idea. And once she, there's a lyric where she says, I peel it and something happens. And then all of a sudden it opens up and it tickles your ears and your brain the way that if you have on headphones, you could hear it widening.
Yeah.
And panning back and forth. It's fun.
I purposely listen to that with headphones. 'Cause I just had a feeling that it would open up like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, it makes me feel so good.
so, JP, this is an interesting album. Like, there are not many albums like it. So, what was the first song that you guys really thought, like, okay, we got it now? Or it might be different because this is your own project, but it's so unique and it's so nuanced. But what was the first song where you realized we might be onto something here? We're not crazy.
It's actually a song that we didn't actually put on the record at all. There was two that we did. The Go 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 song that Kat was talking about, and then also some just little silly ditty, because that's what we do as songwriters, and we just write songs all day long, and some get stuck in your head and we're like, we got to do something with this, and others, they're gone. Anyway, when our daughter was really, really young, we noticed that she would come home from preschool and just throw her stuff everywhere, and just didn't have a routine. And I came up with this little ditty. It was like, take your coat, put it in the closet, take off your shoes and go. And it was just a silly little thing. We sang it a few times, and then we noticed she would be singing it to herself while she took off her coat, put it in the closet, put her shoes in. And that was the aha moment where I said, oh my God, we could utilize this. And this was before we even thought about an ADHD project. It was just more of a, wow, kids really take in the information in a musical way. And as they started to get older, like Kat said, they both were diagnosed with ADHD. Kat has ADHD, and that was our moment to kind of utilize that technique, but in a not that that was negative in any way, but in a positive way, to showcase that, yeah, there's going to be challenges, but we also want to celebrate you, the you that you are. And we're not trying to change anybody in any way. Although some of the songs may be about like cleaning up and asking yourself, oh, do I need anything else? It's not, I think the stigma behind neurodivergence, and thank God I feel like it's being lifted slightly, is that there's something wrong with you and we need to fix it. There's nothing wrong
No.
with anybody, and nobody needs fixing. Everybody needs a little help sometimes, and that's what we want Aidee to be.
And she is, and you are, and this is so wonderful. And I'm so happy that we're talking about it today, honestly.
Thank you. And JP, I think the actual first song that you,
Was I wrong? I'm sorry.
well, the very first song that like you realized there was going to be a character, because
Yeah.
JP's working on a couple of animated series in their baby stages right now, and he was playing around with animation. He's like, I think this would end up to be a show, because we're so used to doing music, but like, because number one, because people are consuming their media visually as well, you have to have a visual component, but also because JP was like, I need to try, I want to see what it's like to animate. And obviously we didn't end up, he hasn't animated everything, but the song that made him realize that, well, rather, when he realized it needed to be a show, the concept was going around, and he created this little intro to which I created a theme, and it would be the first song, the song called Nothing Rhymes with Orange.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
the JP's like, what's going on? You hear all the things going on and everything's confusing, and then everything's quiet for a second. It's a little bit busy in here. And she explains by rhyming kind of with orange that you may think, that being essentially ADHD is being disjointed and messy and like whatever, but we make the solutions work that no one else can. Like, but by being out of the box thinkers, and we can do the impossible. And that's, I think, once JP had that, he had the tempo, he had the quirkiness, he had the thing, and it just came to him visually. So JP created a character, and she's got purple curly hair, she's missing a tooth. Her, just as a lot of ADHD kids, she's got her vision, we made her eyes, how do you say that? Like, not completely the same size, because like a lot of ADHD kids have astigmatisms or vision problems, changes. And she's got jewelry on because we have sensory issues. She's got the fun socks, of course. And she's just the embodiment of like light and creativity and being the raw beauty of ADHD before the junk happens as you get older and more problems are put on you. People pulling you in different directions that your brain doesn't want to go. And
There's kind of like that safe space before it gets a little crazy there.
yeah, I'm very wary of it. As my daughter is about to turn 9 and she's in 4th grade, I just see it. I see it. I remember having a conversation with somebody about, how are kids so open, and then teenagers are completely
Closed off.
not just closed off, but like they're in pain, and then adults are closed off. Adults are, post hurt. And I said, what's the difference? Like, where does it happen? And then you realize that, like, I said to somebody, like, why don't people tell you how they're really feeling when you say, how are you? Why do people say good and it's not? And, or like have conversations where they're not really speaking to you. They're just saying the things that they're supposed to say. And
That's why I said to you when you asked me how I was, I said, I'm here.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. The fact that you felt comfortable enough to just be like, "Hey, I'm here," because, you know, people just saying good, it just becomes like background noise. You're like,
It's
"Okay."
like, but what is good? Like, what is...
Right. What is good? Right. Yeah, it
But,
depends. It
but we're
depends.
so used to like the formalities of like what we have to say to be in society.
Hmm.
Well, it's interesting. That's only in America, apparently. Like,
Oh yeah.
in other countries, nobody does the fake "how you doings." It's only in America. And sadly, I use the word fake, and it's not because when I ask how people are doing that, I don't mean it. I do. However, I'm never expecting somebody to be like, well, my
Because
dog died
because
and then I have
they
diarrhea today.
they don't
Nobody's
want
going to say
they
that.
they don't want a trauma dump.
Yeah.
I this is a total tangent, but we're here.
We're here.
Um,
We just go with it.
so I picture like like a dude at a concert being like, "How you all doing tonight?" And then somebody like info dump or brain dumping whatever's going through their mind that day. That would never happen.
Right.
No, it would
No,
never
wait.
happen. But it'd
No,
be
wait.
funny if it did.
But like, how do you say this? Like, you could even say having a rough week. And that, like, and just be honest about it, because I don't know. I guess as how do you say this? Like being a parent, right? Somebody be like, how's being a mom? And like when my kid was born in 2016, they would ask us that, like me and JP. And we hear most people be like, great, they're doing this and that and I'm like, okay, well that's awesome. And then like once it hits you what it is actually like, or that like even, as our kids grow up, like finding out that being the parents of neurodivergent kids is like feels like a full-time job because of all the meetings and all the like trying to empathize and connecting like connecting to the point where you don't understand what's going on, but you're trying to and trying to help them get their extra energy out so they're not like worried all the time or pent up, like, and just managing that, or just parenthood in general. no one said, oh yeah, you're gonna lose, you know, they'll say you lose sleep, but they're not gonna be like, you cannot not think about your kids, or it's rough. They don't say that. They're like, oh, they're sitting up. Oh, they're doing soccer. That's weird. And I just feel like people should say, I'm having a rough week. And because then it wouldn't be so, then their responses,
And then the conversation would start even more. It would widen open.
right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess being neurodivergent also has the like, I can end a very, very
But
intense conversation and walk away.
also, you have that fear of like, am I saying too much? So maybe that's why too.
Yeah. Well, that's just a result of the problem. That's just a side effect of the problem that people, aren't totally honest.
But
Yeah.
the thought that I had when I first heard anything else a couple months back is like, like I said, this is such a new project and a different approach. How do you choose the song that you're going to introduce to the world?
Hmm.
We did a lot of research. We really did, and I definitely want to acknowledge that Kat did a lot of the legwork as far as knowing what was appropriate and what wasn't, because again, this hasn't been done before, and we wanted to do it right. So we met with therapists. We've did a lot of research, and some of the songs that I was writing and, kind of sending to Kat and be like, hey, what do you think of this for a song? She'd be like, absolutely not. That's not coming from a for us, by us approach. You're kind of looking at it in a, well, I hope that, you know,
This problem goes away.
this problem goes away. Exactly. And that's why I've learned so much through this process. Um, and, really kind of made it my mission to understand neurodivergent people, especially with ADHD. I mean, I have anxiety and depression. I have anxiety disorder, but I'm almost positive that some of my tendencies, like I stim sometimes and I have trouble with eye contact at times. So there's definitely a ADHD component, whether, I've talked to my own therapist about it, and she says that's possible, although the anxiety disorder,
Could trigger a lot of that.
yeah, but the anxiety disorder is more prevalent. So there may be ADHD signs that Kat sees all the time, but it's like going to the doctor for, a stomach virus or something. You're vomiting. You may also have, a broken foot, but at the exact moment, broken foot's not a good one. I don't know. You might have, I don't know, a cut finger. No, that's not good either. You get what I'm saying.
You're trying.
Yeah, just the immediate thing that needs attention for me would be anxiety. But I've also throughout this process realized that there's a lot of through there's a lot of similarities with ADHD and anxiety. So that's been really, really interesting to kind of find the correlations between them all.
One of the things that I wanted to point out, one of the things that we bonded over kind of early on was your work on you did some stuff for Blue's Clues.
Yes.
And Steve, the original host, always said that he never understood, why people revered him in such a way. Like he's not a therapist. He's not a Mr. Rogers type. Like why are they
Well, he
going?
is.
Yeah, I
He
think.
is now, but he never thought that. But like you guys are not therapists. You guys are not scholarly on this. You want to just bring in goodness and hopefully help a few people along the way.
100%. I mean, speaking of Mr. Rogers, some people have asked, where do we see Aidee going? Because this is more than just a record. It's more than anything to us. I don't care what the medium is. When I was younger, I broke my arm, and when I went to the hospital, I saw this little pamphlet, and I was maybe 4 years old, and it had Mr. Rogers on it, and he was talking. The pamphlet was like trying to get kids to not be afraid of the cast cutter. I don't know if you've broken any bones, Bob, but there's a cast cutter that just cuts the plaster cast and not the skin. Supposedly, I actually got cut by one, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, to make a long story short, there was this pamphlet. So Mr. Rogers, the Fred Rogers Foundation must have done a license or something. Um, so it became a comfort for kids that, had broken an arm. And that's where I see Aidee. I want Aidee to be the face of ADHD and to really bring an awareness that everything's going to be okay. There'll be rough times, there'll be good times, there'll be happy times, whatever, but everything's going to be okay. And, don't sweat the small stuff. So that's what we want Aidee to be. So, yes, there'll be records. Hopefully, there'll be some animated shorts that we're going to be working on this year and above and beyond. But more than anything, our goal is to maybe get a strategic partnership with an ADHD foundation that can help bring the awareness much further than we can even imagine.
And like that's the thing too. I also want to shout out, your animation team who worked with you on those the visuals
Oh,
because
absolutely. Scott Martin was the animator and he's fantastic. We loved working with him. He took direction from us so well and we worked really well because there was times where, we're not animators and we'll have an idea and he'll be like, "Yeah, that's just not going to work, but what about this?" He never said no, just no. It was always like, yeah, I see what you're getting at, but how about we try it this way? And his way was fabulous.
Oh my God, he made for us like this transition. I think they call it a wipe in between scenes where Aideen's face comes out of her own face.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
God, it's so fun, and he really like gets it. Like he's funny like that. He also did, there's a lyric, I give a high five to my future self, and she splits in two and gives herself a high five. And
Uh,
it's so awesome because it really visually shows like, hey, instead of me saying I'm going to prepare for later, I'm gonna give a kid can see that and say, oh, I get it now.
but it really fits into the world you've already built, like with the Sesame stuff and Baby Shark. But this is yours.
Yes. Yeah, that it was really important for us and even moving forward that we have something that's ours because um I'm just gonna say it. It's tough. It's tough business when you're constantly pitching for other people's projects, and it's such um, a subjective thing. Everybody, all of our colleagues and contemporaries, everybody's great at what they do, including us. And it just happens to be there's sometimes where your music makes it, and sometimes it doesn't. And it's come to the point where we want to have a little bit more control over what we put out because we just feel that it would help us creatively express ourselves.
Hmm. And
So
also coming from that world of Sesame Street, like it was the kind of like it is the next.
yeah, it's the
It's
next
like
step.
it's not even just like that. It feels like the culmination of what me and JP have always done. Like I've always sung ditties to myself to help myself go. I am very, very passionate about connecting ADHD kids and their other parent that doesn't know what's going on, that can't relate because it's so hereditary. At least one, parent usually has it.
Just
Um,
say it. Just say it. The JPs of the family. Mhm.
um, yeah. And but also like coming from the Sesame Street world and having always Sesame Street is so serious about making sure that the educational um that the lyrics are congruent to like the research
And
and
the social emotional stuff as well.
yes, even science, all
100%.
their science, all their math, all their physics, like all of that, it goes through a very rigorous process. There's a whole department who does that. And so it helped me so much, and JP too, like when looking at the lyrics and being like, okay, well, this is our goal and this specific line, it's not exactly right. And so we can't put it out until it feels, like Aidee is saying it versus talking to a kid, having a kid say it. And also like, working in jingles it's everything's sticky.
So I'm
Gotta make everything.
assuming that you guys want to know what my favorite song is.
We do, of course.
Learning more every day.
Ah, all right. I'm gonna jump in here. That was a contentious thing for us. I love that song. Especially my favorite line in that song is that we're a work in progress because that's something that I do in my own
That's something that
therapy.
I always say.
Yes, we're a work in progress. However, Kat, with her own PDA that she discussed,
Not just that. Good.
was looking that that song could feel more like a I don't know, like almost like a carrot in front of the face. I would say like
Yes.
oh hey, you're gonna be good one day. And I disagree. I think it's a wonderful song, and I think it's a great reminder, even for neurotypical people, to realize, hey, we are all works in progress, and we're all trying our best, and the person we were yesterday is not the person we are today, and the person we are tomorrow will not be So that's my favorite song on the album as well.
And I like the cool little percussion pieces of it too. And the production is super cool too.
Ah, thank you. Oh, I love that. I've had a kalimbo for so long. And, I'll play it here and there, but like I played so many instruments that I haven't played in so long just to get like a more, or I don't know, just to like, I haven't, there's never any time.
You want a more organic.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's something that we try to work on in all of our work these days, is to try to add organic elements to everything, because that's what makes it feel real, and that's what makes it feel alive.
That's what makes it feel quirky too.
Yeah, I think that this album will change the world, honestly.
Oh, thank you so much. That feels so
So,
wonderful to hear.
Because as a kid, I was in special ed classes. So I had a whole myriad of friends and, you know, peers that they all deal with these things. I mean, they when I was younger, I was on medicine for ADHD, and then they realized that, oh yeah, he doesn't have it. It was a different time, but I'm sure if I got diagnosed now, or checked out now, it'd be a different story. But it just shows you how something like this can help even the smallest group of people.
yeah, there's always going to be, well, first of all, by the way, that's the same thing like JP was saying with the cut, like trying to figure out, like, you take care of one thing and then the other pieces are clearer, right? That's what
Yeah.
usually happens. Like if you decide, like with Ella, we had to decide to whether to work. She's has a lot of like fears, or she had, and she's much happier now. But she had an issue with like being afraid of vomiting. And once we focused on that and spoke through that and helped her with that, then we realized, oh, okay, so this energy is not coming from fear all the time. It's coming from just having it, and you can't run it off. Like that's how having something to meet you where you're at and not focus on where someone else who has no idea what's in your brain and has no idea how hard you work to, without anybody's input, how hard you work to make yourself feel comfortable and, have the progress of your peers, like to meet you where you're at and say, hey, this is cool and here's why.
That's the thing I always tell people. I go, can't you just meet me where I'm at? Not in like a term of frustration, but it's so valuable.
Yeah.
And like anybody else saying that, it sounds patronizing, right? Like I'm going to meet you where you're at because you're not where I'm at or something. But but when you say it as the person, you're saying like, I am fine. I am fine as is.
But it's almost like, can you just try to understand at least a little bit? Not all of it, but a little bit.
Yes. Yes. It's as much, the album is as much of like a pull to the parent. Like that was something that we were very serious about as well. Like making it something that a parent can listen to understand their kid where they're at instead of trying to fix the resulting behaviors.
Absolutely.
Of trying to like keep it together.
So we've been having this back and forth. Do you guys have any questions for me about, my journey? Because there's a lot of stuff that is correlating here.
Yeah. How did the album relate to your specific story?
Well, especially this past year has been really rough for me, as you know, I've said that.
Mhm.
But what I've learned is I would kind of use that as kind of a crutch as to why, oh, this is why I'm not doing the work that I need to do, or this is why this is happening. Like, no, I just get distracted and I need time to breathe and relax and really pinpoint, okay, I need to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And really zooming in on that and really focusing, it helped me.
That's awesome. That's really, really great.
Yeah.
And I think that prioritizing yourself is something that people don't talk about enough. They talk about it in a superficial way, like treat yourself, but that's not it. I mean, self-care can be just, you know, drinking some more water,
Like,
it could be
even,
just taking like listening to breathe and just doing it and doing some breath work.
and even something like this, having this conversation right now, not only because this is a great project, we haven't talked in a while.
I know.
It's good to catch up with friends and
Absolutely.
have that connection and bond. So
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Okay. How does your personal how do you say this? Like okay, I'll give you my example because I don't even know how to put this in words. Sometimes I'm very motivated and I get a ton of things done. Sometimes I have deadlines and I have to force myself to do things. But a lot of times when I have no deadline and I can take as much time as I want, it doesn't come out great. And sometimes I feel like, getting myself like ready and starting my day, and sometimes I don't. Do you have those same challenges? And if you do, what do you do to work with them instead of against them?
Well, what I try to do is
A great question, Kat.
I try to segment like what I deal with is at the end of the day, sometimes it's like, oh crap, I know I had stuff to do, but I didn't do enough. You know how when you just, you know, you have all these things you want to accomplish, but you just fall short just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, how I kind of just deal with that is just knowing that a lot of my stuff has to deal with imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Hmm.
Am I good enough? Why would they want to talk to me? Is it worth doing this? And when I went through what I went through, that
That must have
height
rocked your world.
that heightened 100%.
Sure.
Like I like so, but when everything happened, I was so I gotta focus on something else. I gotta do so I worked so hard on this show, but then I got tired and I got burnt out
Yeah.
and I started blaming everybody else.
Yep.
But then I just said, but then you get an email from somebody that says your show is helping me through depression or, something like that where it kind of puts it in perspective for you.
Sure.
So even if I'm having the worst day, I know I have to do this because I created this for me and it brings me joy.
Right. Right. And it brings other people joy. And it's also some of your self-care, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Uh,
I had a when Ella was going through all her stuff last year or in 2023, I think. When she was going through it, I I um I was on a spiral. I just like lost interest in a lot of things. And I I gave myself a whole bunch of time, and then at some point I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I have to get up and I have to do stuff. And then I'm like, and I still like I still couldn't get myself to kind of go back to being 100% in my work and my even my personal life, like even my like I just was not present. JP will attest to that. And it I it's only now that it's only now that I'm starting to like go back to like my relationships for what they are instead of what they want them to be, and for my personality as it is versus what I want it to be, and my content and my making music. God, I just you know being a weird time, like I'm starting to make music for fun, and it's really nice.
well, you know what? I can
It's
totally
hard not
relate.
to get into
I
that.
can totally relate to that because, but that is something that, neurodivergent people face all the time because they don't think they're good enough because they're listening to everybody else.
Yeah.
And if you
Absolutely.
just like, if, oh my God, if you didn't pay attention to that, and like, if you had the ability to not pay attention to that, you know how amazing your stuff would be? Like,
Yeah.
my stuff would be, I'm talking to myself, but like, oh my God.
Like one of my favorite things ever is when I would get a cool interview and I would text you guys what happened
Yes.
when we would be proud of each other.
Yes.
We got to bring that back.
Definitely. Definitely.
But where can people check out this release? And
Well, we one thing I wanted to do is give a shout out to Tara Stewart. She has been a champion for us over at Platoon. Platoon took a chance on this project with us, became our partner, and it's awesome. So you can find it on the Platoon website. You could find it on Apple Music, Spotify, pretty much anywhere. But what I'd really love is to shout out the YouTube page because that's what we're trying to grow, and that's where most
You're
of the
trying to
content.
push it, yeah. A little more.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of the visual content is going to be. So the YouTube is youtube.com/at Aidee AIDEEHD. So yeah, if people can go on there and subscribe, we would be super, super thankful. And I promise that we will be adding more content as we go and more tips for kids and parents alike.
Well, I don't know if there's a market for this, but I'm putting something out into the universe.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob.
I don't know if there's a market for this, but I want an orange vinyl of this album.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be so cool, actually. And part of the reason for that was that, right now we're in October, which is ADHD Awareness Month, and orange, I believe, is the color. Am I right? Am I wrong, Kat? Am I right? Sorry.
Correct.
Correct. So.
So is there anything else you guys got in the pipeline? Let's kind of debrief a little. Anything?
That's really the main thing. I mean, we're constantly working on drumming up new work and putting our music on whatever projects come along. But as of right now, our focus is on Aidee.
Well, I love you guys, and
We love you too.
Yes.
We'll catch up soon. But thank
Cool.
you guys so much.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes, thank you.
Wasn't that a great chat? I love JP and Kat so much. They are wonderful people. And now, to kind of wrap it up, I'd like to play a couple tracks from their latest project, Nothing Rhymes with Orange, which you can stream on Spotify and you can find everywhere. I'm going to play a couple tracks from it. So here are the tracks, Anything Else, Learning More Every Day, and finally, Breathe. Until the next episode, let your obstacles be in the background and press record. See ya, everybody.
Ask myself anything else. I ask myself, is there anything else? I ask one question when I leave a room. Is there anything else? Hey yourself, is there anything else I need to do? Ask myself, is there anything else? Did I leave anything when I was having fun? I look back just to know that I'm done. Anything else? Anything else? I know I'm finished, so I bounce to the beat. I ask myself, is there anything else? And if you finish, you can sing it with me. Anything else? Anything else? I know I'm finished, so I bounce to the beat. Good for me. I ask myself, is there anything else? And if you finish, you can sing it with me. When a duck's done eating at a restaurant, he thinks anything else? The bill. And when a chicken's done eating a breakfast, she thinks anything else? The spill. And when I leave for school, I look back. I say anything else? What's that? My backpack. Asking anything else can't really help, 'cause when the cleanup keeps you in, you'd rather be doing anything else. Anything else. I know I'm finished, so I'll bounce to the beat. I ask myself, is there anything else? And if you finish, you can sing it with me. Anything else? Anything else? I know I'm finished, so I'll bounce to the beat. Good for me. I ask myself, is there anything else? And when you're finished, you'll be singing with me. Sometimes people say to me, hey, Aidee, you've been kinda slacking lately. I say, whoops, and then I do a refresh. I let them know I'm a work in progress. I can try really hard and still forget, but they know I'm really trying my best. I'm learning more every day. Hey, hey, hey. Got mistakes along the way, but I'm learning more every day. I'm learning more every day. Hey, hey, hey. I think back and I can say I'm learning more every day. Sometimes people misunderstand me. I say to them, hey, can we talk? I'll tell you what you missed. I tell them, don't forget, everyone's a work in progress. Don't beat yourself up so hard. Next time we can try again. We're learning more every day. Hey, hey, hey. There's mistakes along the way, but we're learning breathe. I need a second to 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 breathe. Breathe. I need a second to breathe. I touch my neck and I feel my heart beating, beating. I use that rhythm and that's where I start breathing, breathing. Breathe. I breathe and I'm back to me. I breathe with the beat when I'm headed for trouble. I breathe in and I breathe out double. Let me show you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel great, 'cause I took a second to breathe, and now I feel like me. Took a second to breathe, took a second to breathe, breathe, breathe. I breathe and I'm back to me.